Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing your daily Walking Dead video for today, talking about the finale. We've got, of course, the premiere for episode 15. Tomorrow night, going to give our thoughts first in this one on whether or not we think we could see a second lineup in the finale. And spoiler warning, of course, if you're not caught up for The Walking Dead, which is up to the end of The Walking Dead, episode 14, season 7. So this one's been in the comments for a bit. Wanted to go ahead and weigh in on this one first because we're getting really close to the finale now, and it looks like we're going to see a confrontation between, of course, Rick's group, the Survivors, and the Saviors. So this one will be pretty cool. A lot of people have asked me my thoughts on this one, and some people have kind of weighed in on it. They've said that they don't want to see it because they think it'd be kind of repetitive to see another lineup. I'd like to see another lineup if they do it kind of similar to how it is like in the comics and that. We don't know if they're going to, of course, adapt certain events from the comics for the finale. We've got Sasha being captured, so that looks like one potential storyline, and then there's some other stuff that we never really saw that we could still see. So we'll have to see in the finale how things go and how they decide to kind of adapt the comic book series with these parts coming up. But I think personally it'd be pretty cool to see like another lineup, except of course have this one end differently. Like don't have it be repetitive to the point where you have one of the survivors get their brains bashed in again. But another lineup to kind of make people think like, oh shit, this is going to happen again, and then have something else happen with a group, save that group, let's say. So you have Rick and the others lined up, and then you have someone come to the rescue, be it either, the Hilltop group with Jesus or Daryl, or, the Kingdom when Ezekiel and the Kingdom decides to join, or the Junkyard group, or something of the sort. Something like that would be really cool to see. Now, that may not, of course, be this season. It could be season 8 at some time. But I would really like to see it, even though I know we've already seen it before. I just felt like the season 7 premiere was such a huge episode, and getting to see that was so iconic. I mean, the amount of images I have seen in the last year with like Negan and the Bat and the lineup and the breakdown and kind of the speculation and the predictions and everything. I mean, myself even, I've probably done, over 24 probably videos, or more, like just talking about that and breakdowns of who's in the order and this kind of thing. So I think it'd be kind of cool to see another one with a different ending so that none of our survivors anyway are killed in that. That'd be cool if they did in this finale, because it'd be like season 7 kind of started here and season 7 kind of ends here. Similar to season 2 where you see, Sophia, the message on the car, and then where they end the season is like right at the same spot where they started. So all of season 2 is like, they start off there and then they end up there at like the very end beside the dying fire. So I think that'd kind of be cool to like, start the season there, end the season there, but then have it end differently this time. I think that could be really effective for a finale. So we'll see what they decide to do and how they decide to adapt some of these parts from the comics. It could be season 8, but I would like to see it again, just done differently this time. Angus McBryde says, I hope the comic book bell tower scene happens in the finale with Michonne. So again, this is pretty speculative, and I try to stay out of comic book spoilers as best as we can here, but we really don't know, how they're going to adapt this. There's a part in the comics where this is kind of comic book spoilery, Andrea fights off a savior when, Negan and the others are coming to visit Alexandria. So will that be something that's adapted into the show in the finale? That'd be cool to see. Because, of course, I would say that Andrea is even more well-equipped, or Michonne is more well-equipped to fight off a survivor one-on-one than Andrea would be. I feel like that scene would even fit Michonne better because, of course, we've seen her fight off the governor. We've seen her fight off, she's super tough. So even if she didn't have her sword, to see her one-on-one fight off a savior, I think could be really, really cool. So that could be effective. So we'll see, again, how they adapt that. We have no idea. I'll put the link in the description to undeadwalking.com so you guys can check this out. Stephen Yeun had a baby, so that's really cool with Joanna Pack. So definitely check it out. You can see a picture of it. It's kind of cool because it kind of like makes me think of... I know it's not reality, it's fictional universe, The Walking Dead, but like it's kind of like when Maggie has the baby and stuff, and it looks just like Glenn. It's kind of like you see this picture and it's in real life, but it looks just like Stephen Yeun, who looks just like Glenn. It's just, I don't know. It's just cool. Check it out if you want to see it. That's pretty much all I got to say about that. It's just real life, in real life IRL stuff. Just I don't know. Check it out. It's cool. B Wolf 20 says Q&A Trev. However it all goes down, do you think there may be a point where Rick and maybe even the others somehow learn why Negan named his bat Lucille in the TV series version? I wondered about this since Negan's backstory is supposedly going to be in Season 8. Love your videos. That's for Beowulf20. I've already done a video where I kind of went into it. The Here's Negan storyline kind of reveals that from the comics, so you can watch my Negan explain video if you want. It's in the channel right now. It's got a picture of Jeffrey Dean Morgan smiling and looking upward, which is fun. And yeah, so I won't get into too much of why he named it, that kind of thing here, in case you don't want to know. But for some of you, you guys who don't already. But I would really like to see a flashback episode with Negan. I think it could be one of the best episodes of a season, because if you read the Here's Negan storyline, it's just so well done. I mean, Kirkman has just done, and Charlie Adler too with the art, an amazing job of getting to see Negan's backstory in Here's Negan. And, I would just love to see them do like one whole episode, maybe extend it a little bit, like Here's Not Here, where they do a flashback, and it doesn't have to be at one particular time. I'm cool with showing his development over time, maybe right up to the point where he walks out of the RV or something, when we meet him for the first time. I just think that would be great. Like, do like an episode of the first half of Season 8, where even if it's in the middle of All Out War, you have Negan, you show him from the beginning of the zombie apocalypse, you show him what happened to his family pre-zombie apocalypse Negan and being a teacher. Cut it up and do it like in a similar fashion to the Here's Negan, and just end it with him getting the knock from Simon and coming out of the RV as the end of the episode. That would just be so effective. You could even do 2 episodes, and I wouldn't complain. Maybe they just want to do 1, because if you hate Negan, the ratings might go down if too many people hate him, which I think might be the case. So, but I personally would love to see that. That would be so cool. Andy G says, with the Season 7 finale approaching on April 2nd, from Season 1 to 6, what is your all-time favorite finale of The Walking Dead so far? So this one actually is shaping up to look pretty good. It's a pretty good one. I've already kind of done a ranked, where I've ranked all the season finales in a video in my channel, so you guys can check that out if you want to see that. Season finales ranked. Surprisingly, Season 6's finale, I don't think for me, it's not the best. I know a lot of people really like it a lot. For me, it's not my favorite. But like Season 2 actually has an amazing season finale beside the Dying Fire. Season 3's is a bit weak. Season 4's is really great too. Season 5's is awesome. And we'll see how Season 7's turns out. It could be the best one ever, but it's got its work cut out for it to try to beat beside the Dying Fire. And the Season 4 finale also really, really exciting one too. And Season 5 also. Ewan Ringland says, Trev Q&A, could you find the rating for the episode 14 and put it in one of your upcoming Q&As? So we'll just go over it briefly. I know some people don't care. 10.3 million was the rating for this episode. It's very similar to what we've had the last couple, around 10 million. So it's not like, anything really to say about it. It's pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same as what they've been doing. I would expect it to go up a little bit more, but it hasn't gone up that much, so whatever. It's what it is, but we're down the last couple episodes, so I really expect it to go up now, for sure. Tassie McCormick says, the real question is, will Daryl ever shower? So I thought that was pretty funny. It was in a comment. I just thought I'd throw it in there because it's good. Zach Johnson says, hey, Trev Q&A, I personally believe that the actor that plays Simon would have been a much better Negan than Jeffrey Dean Morgan has been so far. He is so much more maniacal and humorous than JDM. What do you think? And he's, you guys write in the comments, I actually looked this up. I guess Stephen Ogg does Old Spice commercials. It's like, what? What's the name? Bob Giovanni or something? I don't know. Anyway, you can look it up. It's on YouTube. You can find the actor who plays Simon. He's got a whole bunch of Old Spice commercials. It's really funny. Really funny. So here's the choice, right? With Stephen Ogg, here's the difference. With Stephen Ogg, you get a more comedic Negan. With JDM, you get a more kind of serious. He also does the comedy, but more serious. So if you want to talk about, why so serious, more serious, less serious, I'd put Stephen Ogg like over here in the scale, far less serious, whereas JDM would be, more serious version of Negan. So that's why they went with him. Also, in terms of look and smile, I really have to go with JDM on that one. I just think that JDM looks a lot more like Negan. I don't think that Stephen Ogg looks that much like Negan. Like, yeah, he's got black hair, he's got a great smile, but his shape of his face and everything and the way his hair is, he doesn't look like Negan that much to me. Could he play a funnier Negan? Probably, because he's really freaking hilarious. And he can also do kind of the scary stuff, too, pretty good. But, I think they made a good choice. If I had to choose between the two, I personally would go with JDM. But, there's some other great choices out there, too. Henry Rollins would have been sweet. And, Kevin Durant was one that was mentioned for a while. So there's lots of different choices. But I think they did right to give Stephen Oak the role of Simon, because he's very similar to Negan, and he's like his number 2, which to me, I think that's clever, because if you look at people, they often imitate whoever's above them or whoever they're closest with. So if Simon's his right-hand man, his right-hand man should be a lot like him, right? If that's Negan's right-hand guy, obviously he should be similar to him, right? He should have a similar type of attitude, a similar type of style of life and leadership and all this kind of stuff. And he's quite similar to Negan. So that's why, personally, I like Simon a lot, and I really enjoyed seeing Stephen Oak in the show. And man, he's funny. He's really funny, man. I until I saw those Old Spice commercials, I didn't realize how funny he was. I mean, I knew he was funny, but he's really funny. James W. says, Carl invaded the sanctuary and machine gunned down some of Negan's men, and he still got taken home unharmed and fed spaghetti. I don't think Sasha will be so lucky. So, yeah, that's true. There's probably not going to be any spaghetti for Sasha, that's for sure. But that's true that Negan, he was pretty nice to Carl. He didn't really do too much to Carl, but also, and this gets into Negan's backstory a little bit too, and some people have asked this question before. I just think personally that Negan likes Carl because Negan was a high school gym teacher before in pre-zombie apocalypse. So he spent a lot of time with, teenage, adolescent boys. And Carl is a special one, for sure. He's special. So I think Negan likes him, and that's really all there is to it. So, of course, he doesn't want to piss off Rick, too, because it's his boy. Jay Morris says, Q&A, with Ben and Richard gone and Morgan and Carol eventually joining the group, most likely, what do you think about Ezekiel being the only remaining Kingdom point of view character? Would this make the Kingdom fade into the background a bit? So, great question from Jay Morris. So, do I think that Ezekiel can hold down the Kingdom as our main point of view character there? I think he can, but he needs some other supporting. He's got Jerry. He's got some supporting cast there as well, too, to help him out. But I think having either one of Morgan or Carol, maybe have Carol stay there permanently and she be a relationship love interest with Ezekiel. Then you have Ezekiel or Carol as the point of view character with the other in the relationship, and you have all the other people in the Kingdom. That would make it a lot more easy. If they just kind of switch it to Ezekiel, some viewers might be like, who is this guy? Maybe they missed a couple episodes, that kind of stuff, and they're like, I don't know. So I think it would be good if you had one or two of them stay there permanently, even for storytelling purposes and just for the show. That's probably what they will do. One Love Club says, hey Trev, I watch videos all the time and I haven't heard anyone mention Heath's whereabouts. So we'll go through real fast. Did lots of videos on that. Heath is most likely with the Whispers, may or may not return. We could do maybe a video on that this summer. Give my thoughts on season 8, whether or not he'll come back for season 8. We'll have to see what he's up to, check his schedule, all that kind of stuff. Corey Hawkins. He probably not going to come back if he gets enough projects, so he may or may not ever come back. We'll see. If he doesn't, we're to assume him killed by the Whispers and dead. We'll see when the Whispers show up. If they show up and he's not with them, then you know he's dead in a couple seasons. Kyle Kalupi says, Q&A Trev, do you think Dwight will ever find Sherry? I'm not sure if he will. It's just my thought. Do you have any thoughts on that? So you're thinking, Kyle, that he probably will never find her, or Sherry might not be in the show again. They haven't confirmed it. They have been asked something along those lines. I forget who it was the actress who plays Sherry, or Austin Emilio. One of them was asked if she's ever going to come back again, and they said that they didn't know, so we'll see. I think Sherry's going to come back in the story again. She's still in the comics, and she's actually still alive in the comics, which is surprising, which doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the same in the TV series. Heath's story is certainly not the same as it is in the comic series. But we'll have to see. I would expect to see Sherry back sometime within the next year, for sure. But just who knows with what they're doing right now and the amount of characters and everything they have going on. There's just so much stuff going on in Walking Dead. It's crazy, man. Q&A Trev, what are the chances that you think we could see Maggie and Daryl become a couple? I know I would love to see that. I mean, how long can someone go without any action? They're human, and I would have already lost it. LOL. So that's from Big Steve. So it's not a bad question, but Maggie and Daryl together? it's too soon because we just saw the death of Glenn. It wouldn't make sense for her, and it wouldn't make sense for him because Glenn is still very much alive. Even though he's not with them, I don't think they would do it because they would feel so guilty. Even if there was an attraction, which there doesn't seem to be, it would just be so guilty that there's no way they would do that. So I can't see that at all. Last one will be from Todd Helms, who says, "Hey Trev, Q&A, do you think that Rick will put together a plan for several small attacks as part of the war, or will he start it off with one major attack, including all forces from all groups together?" So that's for Todd. So that's a really great question. For sake of the show, it's probably going to have to be smaller, separated, split up attacks. In the comics, it's more like there's a few battles and skirmishes, and then it's all out war. It's all on, everybody together attack for a lot of it. Will they be able to adapt it that way? I hope we at least get to see, like in the premiere, a big, one-on-one group, a huge group against another huge savior group. But in reality, because it's a TV series and the way that needs to be told differently from the comics, and what we've seen them do so far, I would say you're probably looking more likely to a lot of different small groups. And also because you have different groups of saviors. You have Simon's group, you have the group that goes to the kingdom, you have Negan's group, and then you have outposts, right? So there's a lot of different, and there like ways, and there's a whole bunch. So we'll probably see smaller attacks. We'll probably see the kingdom kill their group, and then Simon's group could actually be a challenge because Simon's group might be the strongest of all the groups, except for storming the castle itself, storming the sanctuary itself with Eugene's crazy molten metal zombies and stuff. So yeah, it's aside from taking out the sanctuary, Simon's group might be the toughest to deal with. So I'm predicting, even though the comics is big battles, most likely it's going to be more small battles, maybe with one big battle throughout because of budget and stuff like that. So, of course, the bigger the battle, the better. Like Battle of the Bastards would be sweet in the Walking Dead version, but I highly doubt they're going to do that just due to budget. Even if the ratings have gone down a bit too, that's probably going to make them even more hesitant than to do some kind of huge thing like that. I mean, you would think like it'd make them want to get it back, so they put more into it, but we haven't really seen that from AMC yet. They've always been kind of careful about how much they put into the show. That's why, originally Frank Darabont and them didn't see eye to eye. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about all these different topics. You can write your comments below. And if you like this video, please don't forget to thumb it up below. You can also share a favorite. Leave me your questions. Write questions below in the comments. I'll grab them, and then we'll do one more tomorrow, guys, before episode 50. And so for this one, see you guys tomorrow. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you tomorrow.